Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into a Form 8K filing, which is basically like a corporate bat signal, telling us something important just happened. This time it involves Celcuity Inc. and a plan to give out a whole lot more stock, which is like giving away slices of the company pie. Before we jump in, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where we can talk more about this. Celcuity, a company in the business of cancer diagnostic services, just had their annual meeting, and during that meeting some important things happened, mainly about how they plan to use their stock options. Think of stock options as a way to attract and reward employees, and this filing tells us they are planning to issue a lot more of them. One of the main things that was voted on was a change to their 2017 stock incentive plan. Now this plan is basically a way for the company to give employees and other important people stock in the company as a reward or incentive. The big change is that they're increasing the number of shares that can be given out under this plan by 3 million shares. That's a significant amount more company pie they're willing to slice up. Also, 2.5 million of those shares can be given as incentive stock options, which have special tax advantages. So what else happened at this annual meeting? Well, first, the stockholders, which are the people who own stock in the company, voted to elect 7 people to the board of directors. These are the folks who help guide the company's decisions. Secondly, they approved the accounting firm Bole Pal P to keep doing their accounting for the next year. This is important because it means an outside firm is checking the company's financial records. Thirdly, they had a vote on how the company's top executives are paid, a say-on-pay vote. It's not binding, but it lets the stockholders express their opinion on whether they think the executives are being paid fairly. And lastly, they voted to keep doing their accounting for the next year. This is important because it means an outside firm is checking the company's financial records. Thirdly, they had a vote on how the company's top executives are paid, a say-on-pay vote. It's not binding, but they think the executives are being paid fairly. And lastly, they voted on that big increase in the stock incentive plan that we just talked about. Let's look at how the voting actually went. When it came to electing directors, each nominee needed a majority of votes to get onto the board. It looks like Richard Bolo got almost 26 million votes in favour, with around 500,000 withheld. Kinot David Dalvey received almost 24 million votes for him, and just over 14,000 withheld at glance, and that is why there are so many received 25.4 million votes for him and just over 700,000 withheld for Anelli. Brian Sullivan got 25.8 million votes for him and just over 700,000 withheld. Cat Lance Lang received 25.4 million votes for Hams Lane, received 25.4 million votes for him. Lance Lang received 25.4 million votes for him, and just over 700,000 withheld. Finally, Brian Sullivan got 25.
With around 500,000 withheld burst, finally Ryan got 28,000 withheld on finally votes for him. 31 non-votes means that some brokers didn't vote on behalf of their clients, and that does what.
Next up, stockholders voted on whether to approve Bole Pal P as the company's accounting firm for the fiscal year, which ends December of next year. Almost everyone was on board with this, with over 33,000 were against and 15,000 abstained, which means they did not vote. The next thing they voted on was the compensation for the top executives at the company. This is where stockholders get to weigh in on whether they think the executives are being paid fairly. Out of the votes cast, almost 25.4 million were in favour of the compensation, while around 800,000 were against it. Just under 2,000 people abstained, meaning they chose not to vote. As before, there are also about 6.9 million broken non-votes. Finally, we come to the big one, the vote on increasing the number of shares authorized under the 2017 plan, which is what we said at the start. This is about giving the company more flexibility to use stock as an incentive for employees and others. The vote passed, but it was closer than the others. About 18 million votes were in favour, while 8.2 million were against it. Just 9,000 people abstained. And again, there were about 6.9 million broken non-votes. So even though it passed, there was some significant opposition to this plan. You can also find the full updated version of the 2017 stock incentive plan, which is linked in this filing. It is always good to take a look at it for the real and nitty-gritty details. Now let's zoom out and think about what this all means. On one hand, it seems like the shareholders are happy with the directions the company is moving in, as they agreed to elect all board of director nominees, as well as reappointing the accounting firm to keep doing their business. On the other hand, increasing the amount of shares by so much could be seen as a risk for current stockholders, because doing so dilutes the value of the stock. But maybe it is a good decision because of the fact that it could attract better employees, but it could also just be a way for current executives to get paid more in the future. So that was our decoder on the company's filing. I do recommend you read these types of filings for yourself because they are very important for a company's health and future prospects. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.